You're listening to The Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Coming straight at ya from the VOC Nation and Angry Marks Podcast Network, it is their favorite sons, the top broadcasters here on these networks. I'm talking about the Angry Tensai and the 4-star winning champion announcer, 2015 New Jersey Broadcaster of the Year. I'm talking about Big Dick, baby. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing well, brother. I'm doing extra sweet today. That's a big introduction for me, my friend. Big introduction. I don't think you could have built my hype up anymore. Maybe a little bit more, but we'll work on that before next week.
You deserve it, and I'm glad our technology is working.
So how are things? Yes. That was a disappointing show last week. I had actually.
Oh no, it's happening again.
No, it's not so bad. It's just on Vic's side this time, thankfully.
Anyway,
that was my wake up alarm, just in case Raw didn't put me to sleep for an extra 5 minutes.
Well, let me tell you something. There was talks of Survivor Series. There were talks of terrorist attacks. There were talks of something Ultimate. There were talks of something Warrior returning. And neither of those things happened, which is all good. But something equally grotesque took place, and that was the cash-in Money in the Bank of Sheamus, who we have to watch start Raw tonight as our new WWE champion. A guy literally who was jobbing to Kalisto earlier in the night at Survivor Series. A guy who hasn't won a match in like a month on WWE TV is your new WWE champion. Big Dick, how do you feel about this guy coming out on Raw as your champion?
There's nobody more worthy of the title than Sheamus, obviously. I mean, he's put his time in, and he's a great superstar. He deserves it, and I wish him many years of prosperity with the title.
You really like him as champion?
No, I did not at all. But you know what? He's gonna be a good transitional champion for the next couple of months. I have a feeling he'll have his title until either Lesnar comes back or something else exciting happens, and Reigns finally gets a championship. But I feel like WWE is making a real conceited push here, especially with Sheamus and Triple H coming out.
True.
You know what? I mean, I'm not upset with Sheamus winning because he's right. I mean, he said it from the start. He was just one bro kick away from the championship. And holding that belt, it doesn't matter how many matches he lost or how many matches he won. All he had to do was have the one opportunity to cash it in where he felt that he was going to be strongest. And that was Survivor Series.
I get that, but I've never seen someone come in so cold to a world title run. I don't necessarily have an issue with Sheamus himself as a champion. In fact, you and I were talking before we came on the air, and tonight we saw the rekindling of the faction with Rusev, Wade Barrett, and Sheamus. I actually really liked them together. I thought the three of them have really good chemistry, and Sheamus and Barrett certainly have good chemistry as a duo. So I do like them all on TV, but what I just can't get over is how much jobbing Barrett and Sheamus have been doing, and I thought Sheamus has like no steam coming into this, and that's just not a way a WWE champion gets crowned with zero steam. I don't know,
but it's the way almost all the Money in the Bank winners come in. I mean, even John Cena, when he held it and cashed it in, he was still on a really crappy run Probably the worst losing streak you have ever seen John Cena on. And he still cashed it in, and the moment he cashed it in, he was white hot again.
Well, Rollins, if you recall, not only had Money in the Bank, but he earned a title shot a month before at Royal Rumble, 2 months before, at Royal Rumble before WWE. So at one point, he was the number one contender and he had Money in the Bank, which I thought was really cool twist of the story, that you could compete for the number one contender and still have Money in the Bank and not have to use it if you don't want to, which was really kind of a cool thing. And he was hot. So I don't necessarily agree with that totally. I mean, think about when Kane cashed in his. Kane won it and then cashed in like right that moment, that night. That was pretty cool. But I don't necessarily mind the cash in. I don't mind who it is. I mind just the way he was built. And honestly, I don't think it was very impressive what Sheamus had to say to start the show either. In fact, he just basically said to everybody, he told us we all look stupid, and he called it, and he's now the corporate champion and all that good stuff, and out comes Roman Reigns. So, you know, I don't think it was anything salacious. I don't think it was anything entertaining. I mean, if you want to argue with me on that, I'd love to hear your angle on it, but I don't see how this is better than Ambrose turning on Reigns or Reigns turning on Ambrose and having that dominate our TV till WrestleMania, which would have been great. Instead we get this.
I would argue that it's just too soon for that. I mean, really, I felt what WWE really wants to do is to put that title on Reigns. And I think that if they had put that title on Reigns last night and kept it on him, I think the crowd response showed that they warmed up to that. But how about we crank the heat up on it, we immediately take it away, and we put it on somebody that nobody likes right now, and that just absolutely pissed off the crowd. Look how the crowd reacted tonight when Roman Reigns showed up. They were on fucking fire.
Yeah, I mean, they're putting together basically Roman Reigns as a Daniel Bryan type hero with this title run. I thought they did a good job of it leading up to the event. However, I mean, like we obviously saw, it was a hard luck decision to go ahead and do that. Take the title.
Interesting. Didn't Daniel Bryan get beat the same way? He beat John Cena for the belt, right? And then someone cashed in on him, right?
Yeah, Randy Orton did.
Right.
You know, and to that event, there's already a video going around showing how the ending for Reigns and Ambrose and Sheamus taking the title was exactly the same as Daniel Bryan beating John Cena and then Orton taking the title from him after Triple H screws the champion over. I mean, it's almost a deadlock. And you know what? WWE played on that tonight. When Stephanie Mann started to speak, the crowd immediately started yes chants, which goes to show you WWE fans are not stupid. They don't forget the past. They know what's going on here, and they don't want WWE to drop the ball like they did last time.
Well, here's a question I have with this whole Reigns thing. I mean, I just think logically, for what reason did Roman Reigns not shake Triple H's hand? That was just stupid. It was almost like a non-face thing to even do. Like, there was no reason at all for him to spear Triple H. Triple H did nothing to cost him the belt. Honestly, there was no reason not to shake his hand at that point. None.
Yeah, well, you know what I think it was? I think it was such a big deal that he had turned down his offer before, and that he had been offered into the group. And you know what? There wasn't a physical confrontation at that point. So I think that they, at some point, I think they wanted to have some sort of physical confrontation with them. And what better way than to bring out Triple H, have him speared, Sheamus comes in. Whether or not it was set up between the two of them, who knows? It sure looked like it afterwards, but at the same time, who's to say that Triple H just wasn't down there and Sheamus was sitting backstage hanging out with his briefcase?
Reigns looks like an idiot. That's all I have to say. Because you either shake his hand or be smart enough to realize you just went through a war, you won the title, and you run the hell out of there the minute you win the belt. I don't get that. Why are you hanging around the ring when you're a marked man? Like, I just don't. It just makes the champions look so dumb. A champion is supposed to be super aware, on top of their game. Your top champion would not make that mistake. And he not only made one mistake, he made two mistakes. And I'm sure no one's even thought of this, but it really bothered me how stupid Reigns looked. And honestly, they could have at least given him his heat back, which I would have liked this. Now maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it would have been great if Sheamus cashed in and Reigns beat him.
You know what I was sort of hoping for? I was hoping for either that or at least an extended, not a 25-second match there where it was basically start a match on top of them and going from there. I would have rather had, okay, you know what? He Bro kicks him, Reigns kicks out, and they go on and fight for 5 10. That would be great. Even if he lost then hey, you know what? It was opportunistic by Sheamus, but he took advantage of the situation like he should have.
No, but where was that?
Sheamus look better or to look better, but I think that that Reigns would look infinitely better as a fighting champion or future champion by putting up a bigger fight against that.
Yeah, I understand. Well, to that point though, where was Ambrose?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he didn't come in and do his Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit thing in there.
But wouldn't he help his friend, right? Like, I mean, I don't like it at all, and I thought the start of the show sucked. I get they have to have a rematch, but I guess Rusev is returning for what? Like, what does Rusev gain? Maybe Sheamus, because Sheamus is his boy. I'm okay with that if that's the reason why. So, Reigns wanted to fight Sheamus tonight. He was told, yeah, you're not getting the shot tonight, but you're going to be fighting this man. And then behind him, he gets destroyed by Rusev with a kick. So we find out we're going to have Rusev versus Reigns tonight. Meh. I don't know, bro.
You know what? I like that because it's sort of almost over pushing him as a face. And you have to remember that Rusev was sort of on the borderline. He was in sort of rarefied era where people were sort of liking him because he had a cool valet. And I mean, he was sort of, I mean, he was over with the knowledgeable fans a little bit more. I mean, I think we were warming up to him. So I think that, I mean, he sort of reestablished himself. Hey, I'm back and I'm 100% a heel. And you know what? I mean, it could be, this could be the new corporation or the new authority with a couple of foreign guys. I mean, maybe throw a Wade Barrett in there or Cesaro in there, and you have a stable of like 3 or 4 international superstars.
Well, before we get into that specifically, I guess we gotta cover a couple things. So let's start with I'll talk about my favorite segment in Folks in a minute, and I think a lot of people are going to hate what I like the best, but I want to talk about an odd segment before we talk about my favorite segment. Odd segment, Mark Henry versus Neville. I don't really know what to make of this. I know they're going somewhere with this. Apparently before the match, the announcers made a comment that Mark Henry's been talking about this match all week and how much he respects Neville. There was this weird exchange. Mark Henry, who hasn't won a match over anybody in the last 3 months, who got beat by Sheamus in like 20 seconds a couple weeks ago. Mark Henry comes out and all of a sudden he's the world's strongest man again, and he's manhandling Neville, and he puts him up in the corner and he said something like, "Come on, son, you got to get up, son," like as he's beating him, and he shows like mercy to him. Neville then kind of punches his way out. Finally, he goes off the top rope. He's about to get caught in the world's strongest slam, but Henry, kind of can't hit it. Neville slips out, and Mark Henry starts like hitting the rope like he was not happy with himself for some reason. And then Neville hits one offensive move, which is that like kicking that enziguri in the face in the air. And then he hits the Falcon Arrow for the win, or whatever he calls it, the red arrow.
Henry had that's the thing I don't like about this move. I'm sorry to interrupt you here, but I just really bugged about this move. I hate it when, like you said, it was the enziguri or whatever he had kicked to the head. It was one offensive move. Henry didn't really sell it, and then all of a sudden just ended up conveniently falling and laying down exactly as you need to be positioned for that move. I absolutely hate that.
Well, I guess a couple of things. First off, Henry kicked out at 2, which I don't know if you noticed that. Like, he kicked out. He kicked out of the move. Literally kicked out, and the ref still counted 3. But I find it really bizarre that, like, what's the point? Like, what is this all about? It's not, and I like both guys. I really hated the segment.
Yeah, and then after the match, Mark Henry walks up to him. Neville's scared, ready to fight, and he shakes his hand. I thought it was pretty weak, pretty tacky.
I don't get it. Let me talk about now my favorite segment of the night. By far my favorite segment of the night. Do you know what I'm going to pick?
New Day.
Unbelievable. Those guys are un-effing believable. Man, I love those guys. How'd you feel about them tonight, buddy?
Dude, their mic work, even Biggie, their mic work has increased over the last year 100-fold. I mean, hook, line, and sinker, they are over as awesome heroes. They're almost in the rarefied era of like Edge and Christian on the mic work.
Now, let me ask you a question. Did you appreciate when Kofi Kingston said, I'm not speaking in my character for a moment when I say that country music absolutely sucks. I thought that was awesome.
And he said it about 14 times, which is pretty funny.
They were that I can't even explain that segment. That was hysterical. I mean, those guys, all 3 of them are so good on the mic. When they were playing, showing us all the different forms of country music, I don't even know what to say. It was awesome.
It was so stupid, it was brilliant.
But they're not on a script. I mean, they must be able to do whatever they want, though. They seem so natural.
I think at this point, I think Vince is just convinced, you know what? Just go say whatever.
Do you think that they're going to be literally...
They gave him the okay to say whatever they want, because if not, he'd be afraid of possibly having some backstage protests.
No, like, are they the team now, man? Or like, is this it? I mean, is that who WWE's going with, or are they a novelty? Like, what do you guys think? Like, I think they're going to be the team forever.
They're like Edge and Christian now. They're good.
Honestly, I think they might have another year in them, and then it's going to get old, though.
You think?
I think people just are eventually going to get tired of them running their mouths, and the whole shtick is going to get old, and eventually they're going to break them apart. I don't know which way it breaks, and I don't think even necessarily it's, the group is torn apart. I just think as far as being a trio, I can see them drifting apart. Maybe, 2 of them going on and continuing as a tag team with, I'd say probably Big E going back to being a singles wrestler. And, and although they may not stay heels forever, I think they'll informally definitely be friends forever. Understood.
I'm surprised to hear you say that, though. I'm still a little surprised that you think, that they're not going to be I just feel like they're like the hottest thing I've seen in years. Although the segment was stupid, like they issue an open challenge, and both the Usos and the Lucha Dragons accept it, and then they don't get the match. I thought the segment was kind of stupid, but the actual mic work was awesome in mocking the crowd. But a question: did the Lucha Dragons not remind you of the Machines who pretended to be Japanese? I know Kalisto and Hunico. Well, I think Hunico's Puerto Rican, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or no, he's Mexican.
No, he's Puerto Rican.
He's Puerto Rican, and Kalisto's Mexican. and I know that they're supposed to be of Mexican / Puerto Rican descent, depending on which character you're talking about. But it almost seemed like, and I don't know why tonight, their mic work seemed like American guys trying to play Spanish characters. The mic work was awful.
Yeah, that was pretty painful. And you know what? It was made even worse by the fact that the Usos came out and they're saying, whoa, you gotta stop, or whatever. Like, no real conversation there. It's more just like I don't even know, just sort of a whoa, back. Like, it wasn't really conversationalist until he got to the ring and they started on the mic a little bit. But still, I mean, New Day carried the segment between the three teams.
The Usos are terrible. They're really terrible. I'm going to tell you, you guys know I've been, probably to my detriment to the fans here, I've been giving A- after A-. I have been marking out for Raw, almost to a level of biasness. I did not see it tonight. I really did not like tonight's show at all. And I liked Survivor Series. I just thought the show tonight was terrible. The few bright spots, to be honest with you, and they were very bright spots, was I thought the Divas were incredible tonight. I guess we could either talk about, I don't want to say the Becky Lynch Sasha Banks match was even close to their best, but I really enjoyed that Sasha Banks got that opportunity to be up there, and she got a big win. She needed that win. I thought that was good. Other than that, I don't think Becky Lynch lost any steam in any way because of the interference by Team Bad, so that was okay. And Kevin and I talked about it before we went on the air. Charlotte and Paige, the intensity tonight, the use of the table tonight. I don't know. I really liked that match. I thought Charlotte and Paige, they're really on to something now, and this is the first real women's feud in a very, very long time, maybe since AJ and Paige. But you could feel it. It was great. What do you think, Beck?
Yeah, you know what? I agree with what you said. I think that Sasha Banks, I mean, she hasn't really been trading wins and losses, but I think it's good to get her back on the air. And, I mean, maybe reestablish her as, okay, she has a legitimate right to get into a three-way dance at the next pay-per-view.
Right.
The title. Again, I don't know if they're going to rush that or if they're going to keep, I mean, AJ and Charlotte, they like you said, put on a pretty good match, and they're pretty intense, and I think they can probably go 15, 20 minutes if you ask them to. But I think maybe putting in Sasha Banks, it could sort of be a match where Sasha doesn't need to win it, but she could be involved in it enough to really put her over as one of the title contenders there. And I mean, they could even end up with Sasha, Paige, Charlotte, and Nikki Bella all in that match.
I really think Sasha Banks is one of the best theme music songs. Not that that means anything to you, but just my opinion.
I know you like your divas. Every time I say. So.
I have become a diva groupie. I mean, I have become so diva, and it is funny because I used to be mocking of the divas, but this shows you they have real wrestlers now. And you know what's funny, dude? I feel vindicated by Table for Three on WWE Network, where Natalya basically went off on how 2 or 3 years ago WWE was doing the model thing and there were no real wrestlers up here. And I was like, you know what? Thank you. I'm glad to hear that being said. Thank you, Miss Natalya, for saying what needs to be said. I don't want to see it anymore. And now we have real wrestlers up on the roster, which is great. So I hats off to the Divas tonight, man. I enjoyed it.
I kind of really enjoyed the Divas as well for the most part. I didn't so much care for the Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks match. I mean, it was okay, but the way that ended, it was just stupid. But unfortunately, it's the same kind of stupid that Dolph Ziggler went through a couple of weeks ago, where he let the outside distractions, get to him for absolutely no reason other than just to purely distract him. Now, maybe, I can maybe let Becky Lynch get by with that just a little bit more, just simply for the fact that she's newer. But it still kind of bothers me, especially with wrestlers that are up on this end of the card, that, you shouldn't let outside distractions. Why the fuck are you paying attention to anything happening outside of the ring? That's the referee's job. You need to pay attention to your opponent, or otherwise you get fucking rolled up like a goddamn idiot.
Yeah, they're not, and they're not.
And the thing, Kev, an idiot. I mean, these wrestlers, it's not like they're coming up out of, like, Ohio Valley Wrestling where they haven't been on camera at all. I mean, these girls have been wrestling for a couple of years now in our minor league system. They've wrestled on NXT shows. They have experience. They know what they're doing. So to have it be there's almost like it's not really a rookie mistake anymore.
It's almost like Mr. Funk got thanked for saying what needed to be said. Mr. Funk, that is.
Yes.
Yes. We don't want to see him do this to his bodies anymore. There's more than one. Okay.
Angry Tex, I have to ask you, if this might be a local news article I saw, but did the two of you see the commercial? And I believe it was on last week. Well, in regards to the it's Native American Heritage Month or something in the month of November. Did you get that? It might be a local commercial for me, but it was pretty entertaining.
No, I didn't see any such commercial.
Okay, yeah, it was pretty entertaining. I almost felt like he was trying to sort of radicalize the Native American descendants, and it was sort of a lower budget. Looked like it was possibly a local commercial, maybe just to Southerners, maybe just to the Atlanta area.
Is there a Mighty Nation joke coming here?
No, but WWE did sign Tatanka to a long-term or to a Legends contract. So, I mean, there could be a Mighty Nation / Tatanka stable coming in.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
No. I mean, think about it. I mean, we've gone a long enough time without having. I mean, we're progressive enough to have teams like the Redskins, the Indians, the Chiefs, the Fighting Sioux, the Fighting Irish. I mean, I think that a stable based on the Indian descent is the only logical next step.
Well, I think at the end of the day, anything that features the Indian talent is a cool thing, and I welcome it. So Tatanka, Mighty Nation, local Chiefs and Redskins. Actually, Redskins is not a cool word, right? That's like even though I'm a watched Redskins fan in the NFL, but that's actually derogatory, so I don't mean it that way. We shouldn't use that term.
Yeah, well, I mean, so far for Atlanta, the Atlanta Braves, their mascot is an Indian.
But is it derogatory?
What's that?
Is it derogatory?
It's derogatory as much as Redskins is, I think, or Indians.
I don't like that term Indian. I just feel like it's used in a nasty way, like the way Indians. Like, why are you saying it like that? You know, like
well,
what?
I don't know. I mean, you have to realize that. I mean, it goes back 100-something years where Indians were sort of. I mean, the Cleveland Indians they go back a couple hundred years, or like at least 100 years with their history. So I mean, it was sort of there's more of a traditional thing back then. Now we're in a time and age where everything gets offended. I mean, I can't even imagine how many calls a week Kevin gets and this network gets based on our comments on a weekly basis. But I mean, everybody gets offended by everything. I mean, if I slip say, we're probably going to get complaints about saying sucks a couple times, just repeating what New Day said.
I got a complaint already about saying that I liked Sasha Banks' song. I don't know how that's offensive, but somebody was offended that I liked her theme music.
You know what? It's Sasha theme music sucks.
You want to know what I hated tonight? I'm going to tell you what I hated tonight. Because I saw that Rob Van Dam have to go through this with Seth Rollins. I hate WWE trading wins, which we've gone through. And the Wyatt family got destroyed last night by Kane and Undertaker. So now to save the ass beating they took, and folks, do yourself a favor. If you want to see the Wyatt family get what they had coming to them, and you want to see Braun Strowman get treated like a baby, let me rephrase this. If you want to see Braun Strowman get treated like a baby bitch jobber, then do yourself a favor and watch Survivor Series last night. Kane and Undertaker went into absolute freak mode and destroyed all four Wyatts. And they particularly beat the shit within an inch of his life, Braun Strowman on the outside of the ring. And all of a sudden, Braun Strowman's easy to knock down now, and you can just kick his ass. I don't know when that happened, but now it's possible to knock him down and just beat the shit out of him. So if you want to watch Kane and Undertaker just run through the Wyatt family like a bunch of Wrestling Challenge 1980 Saturday morning jobbers, then go ahead, watch the match, because it was just a glorified ass beating. Anyway, I digress.
Know what? Actually, going back to that, I have something to complain about.
What? If you complain about that, you're off the air, because that was awesome.
No, but you know the blatant racism that Alberto Del Rio's already faced. Why is it that whenever an announce table needs to be destroyed, it's the Spanish announce table? Why is it not the United States announce table, or possibly?
Because that's the rib, man. That's the rib. It's been like that since like 1997, man. That's the rib.
Yeah, but you know what? That makes it feel like the Spanish people. They're sort of
that's like I'm offended. Like bad luck in the Spanish announce table. Like it always gets broken. That's just what happens.
You know what? I just want to say, I would have laughed my ass off if it happened. But at the same time, I'm very happy that the Spanish announcer table did not go 3-0 and no selling moves on pay-per-view. I mean that I would have laughed so hard, but at the same time, I would have felt so bad, because if there was any time a table needed to be absolutely destroyed, it was at that spot last night. I don't think there's ever been another spot where that table just being completely annihilated was so important.
Did you enjoy the ass whooping the Wyatts took?
I did, but I still think I would have enjoyed it more if it was a traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match.
Well, I'm just curious though. Did you feel that was an excessive beating that they took?
I don't think it was excessive. I think it was just the right amount.
I couldn't believe how bad they jobbed. I thought it was great. It was almost like I wrote it myself.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I would have liked to have seen the Brothers of Destruction say, "Okay, Wyatt family, we'll take on all four of you." That's pretty much what they could have done here and still got the win. And a match I think I would have liked that a little bit more. I mean, between Undertaker and Kane, I think they could have gone like 15 minutes. 20 minutes between the two of them, switching in and out with a couple of rest holds and all four of the Wyatts. I mean, outside of Bray, I don't know you're going to have too much luck with them going 15, 20 minutes. But, I mean, you have all four of them and literally have The Undertaker and Kane run through. And because they've had some traditional Survivor Series matches 4-on-4 before. So I think it would just be a table stacked against Kane and The Undertaker, and they still overcome it. And that shows how dominant they are. That's always the problem with this, because I don't think you see Taker again until WrestleMania now. And what do? I mean, I don't think you put him against. I don't think you can put him against Bray Wyatt right now. I mean, they destroyed him that bad.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to get beaten that bad, and I really thought it was super unfortunate. That the Dudley boys got the treatment that they got tonight. It was almost like they did the same thing to the Dudley boys. It was very, very odd, man. Very odd. I was really surprised. I didn't expect the Dudleys to get beaten like that. But neither here nor there.
But you know what? The thing is, the Dudleys, they could be selling. I mean, they opened up the pre-show last night. They could be selling on their way out of town.
Yeah, here's what I want to know. What the hell is Kalisto doing backstage that not only does he get to go on, the Luchas get to go on pay-per-view, while the Dudleys have to do the pre-show, but the Dudleys get the absolute crap beat out of them the next night on Raw, and nothing happens to the Lucha Dragons at all. What the hell world is this?
Lucha.
I mean, did Devon piss off somebody backstage or something? I don't know.
They could be putting them in on their way out. I mean, they could just need a convenient story to have him out and sell Strowman as a monster or something. And I mean, I think that if you didn't watch the pay-per-view or just have a trading wins memory and think that, okay, you know what, they just came back. I don't know where you go with the Wyatt family between now and then. I mean, did they run as singles? They put a tag team together. I feel like they're screwing across words. I mean, Bray Wyatt, I don't think he's won a match since before WrestleMania, outside of maybe just some joke of a match, maybe a one pay-per-view and maybe a joke of a match here or there on Raw with some interference.
Yeah, I mean, whatever steam the Dudley boys were getting, though, I mean, they got killed.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's goes without a doubt. That they definitely got crushed. But you know what? I mean, if they're going to be out until after Survivor Series or something like that, then this is a good lead up to that point.
Yeah. What else we have happened tonight?
Jackson Alberto Del Rio. I was offended.
Yeah. I like this feud. I don't know why. I just do. I think it's cool. I'm enjoying it, even though they've done it before. But just they were on the other sides. I'm excited about their match. Call me a mark. I think that this is how you make interest in a feud. Now we know Del Rio is going to kill Swagger, but at least I'm interested in it. You know?
Yeah. No, exactly. I think that you're absolutely right. I think it's going to be a good match. They're good, both good, very good technical wrestlers. And you could say, hey, go out there, do the second match of the pay-per-view, and go 20, 25 minutes, put on a match of the show.
Right.
I mean, you don't have a Cesaro to do that or a John Cena. He's going to be out for next month.
Swagger can work, that's for sure.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think that I think he can build it up as what it's going to be, a great technical match, and maybe even start a series that'll last until WrestleMania. I definitely think that done right between Zeb Coulter and everyone else, I think that could be definitely done.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would enjoy it myself. I think they could put something together that would be very entertaining and could be thorough and technical. Real quick, Stardust and the Ascension lost to the Primetime Players and Goldust. Yeah, whatever. I mean, who cares? So that was
the Ascension. They're starting to remind me of characters in Back to the Future, like when they have with the little bit of face paint like going down and like the way their haircut is. I mean, I feel like they're like almost extras in Back to the Future with like just like the way regular people dress back. It was supposed to be in like 2015 or so. I feel like that's like the basis for their hair, their makeup, and their clothing choices.
I hope that's not true. I hope that's not what WWE is striving to put on TV.
I don't think that's what they're striving to put on TV, but they do look that silly out there.
It's
not to
man.
On Raw, possibly since their debut against Tex Channing and Michael McGillicuddy.
The Ascension's going to be gone very soon.
Yeah, I mean it's almost such a point. I feel bad for them where they got such a negative push. What do they come back as? I mean, they're not even believable.
No, it's too late. It's not going to work for them.
Yeah. I mean, stinks. They were a solid team in NXT.
We had a big tag team match tonight. Kevin Owens and Tyler Breeze versus Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler. What'd you make of all of it?
You know what? I just think they're trying to. I mean, you only have, I think, 3 weeks till the next pay-per-view here. So I think that they're sort of on full speed ahead with booking and trying to set up the future matches. So I think that this was, what was it? It was Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler versus
Tyler Breeze and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you have a Dolph Ziggler rematch with what's his name? With Tyler Breeze, no doubt. That's a feud that's not going away anytime soon, despite the fact that I think that it's absolutely killing Dolph Ziggler. And I think Ziggler should be competing for titles, like decent titles, and not jobbing to some rookie who's doing the same stick as he was a couple of years ago. And you know what? I don't mind a Dean Ambrose Kevin Owens feud at all. I think that could be a really good. I mean, that could be pay-per-view quality matches. I don't know if they will be, but I think that or not pay-per-view, like main event quality matches for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely taking a step back for sure. And I mean, I don't know why that is. The fans love him, but I think I was reading on a forum a couple things that made me laugh. I told you about Sheamus that WWE angry fans at WWE decided to essentially make the 1980s version of Berserker your world heavyweight champion. Very funny, but at the same time, you take a guy like Kevin Owens and and you don't run all the way with him, I don't know why that is.
Well, you know what? I mean, I don't blame him for not going all the way with Owens. I mean, Owens been around for 6 months. Here, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's probably one of the most impressive 6-month runs at the start of a career.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, I just don't think. I think that Sheamus is. I think Sheamus, he's a transitional champ. He's going to have the belt until, I'm thinking, most likely SummerSlam. I don't know. I don't know if I don't think he carries it all the way until.
He's not going to get out of Royal Rumble with title, and I'll be surprised if he walks out of TLC with the title.
I just called it SummerSlam. I meant Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think
that's Royal Rumble.
Championship match at WrestleMania. That's a given. I don't know who takes the belt. It might be Kevin Owens before then, because I think you do have a heel champion. I mean, it could be. They could swap belts a couple times. Maybe have Rollins take it or have Ambrose take it and then swap it out to a heel Lesnar again. And sort of have it transition back and forth a couple times. And you have heel Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. And, I mean, as long as you do a good job of selling Lesnar as a heel this time, and I think that you could get a WrestleMania moment for Roman Reigns. I think that he's just about that over.
Yeah, I would agree. I think you nailed the assessment. Honestly, I think you, for once, I don't disagree at all. I mean, I think you're dead on. We'll see where this is going to go. I'm not really sure. I mean, let's talk about the faction tonight. So the disqualification happens when Rusev takes on Roman Reigns because Mr. Sheamus decides to put his hands on Roman. And then when Roman starts fighting back, out of nowhere comes Wade Barrett, Sheamus's BFF, and bull hammers him out. That trio took control till the end of the match when, or the end of the scene when Reigns, beat down Barrett and, Rusev with a chair. However, the damage was done. I don't know. I thought that was surprising, but I like that Sheamus has a posse, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? They all have the European flavor to them. I think I mentioned that before, a little bit of a spoiler there. The one thing I did not get, and I didn't like, was it didn't really make sense going from last night to tonight. But last night, Wade Barrett, actually, he got screwed big time because during his match, I think it was tied 4-4 or 3-3. Biggie and Langston had got eliminated, and his two partners carried him to the back. They basically put him on his shoulders and said that he's injured, we need to take him to the back, and left the match, leaving Barrett in the match alone to ultimately lose to the remaining trio.
You're saying the New Day was never eliminated?
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it was a heelish chicken shit move by New Day.
Oh yeah.
Not followed up at all with Wade Barrett. Like, I think it would have been interesting to say, okay, you know what, it's gonna be New Day and Wade Barrett versus the Lucha Dragons and the Usos tonight as a match. And then have Barrett. I mean, he could ultimately turn face on that, or he used it to turn face. Again, I mean, things change from day to day. I mean, now with Cesaro being out, maybe they decided that he's gonna be kept in a faction instead, and have it sort of be a European faction with the three of them. Maybe add somebody else like Neville or something. But yeah, I think that I didn't like the continuity. It was sort of brushed over. That he did get screwed, and he had a chance to, even if he were to just get in a fight with one of the New Day backstage or something, just make him look like a badass.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's gonna happen. I just don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
It's forgotten already.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that was pretty much our show in a nutshell, and I don't know, man. I didn't like tonight's show. I don't know why. I usually always like the show. You know that. I just wasn't in love with tonight's show.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that we have sort of have an expectation of having a better show after pay-per-views, and I think that this is. I mean, I think they're at a point where they're back from a European tour. I didn't like the pay-per-view last night at all. I mean, I get that you're thrown for a loop where you have Seth Rollins injured and not able to wrestle, and Mason handing his championship over. But I don't literally I turned on the pay-per-view. Or I turned on, I guess it was I turned on the pre-show. I didn't know what the two Survivor Series matches were. And I mean, there's what's that?
I didn't know them either. They didn't really do a good job of communicating that out.
They didn't announce them. And then, I mean, they're sort of thrown together. Like, okay, well, you guys are faces and can stand. You guys are faces and can stand. Like, let's put you guys together. So, I mean, even if it was like Sheamus, Barrett, Rusev, and one or two other wrestlers versus a good stable of teammates. I mean, I think the New Day needs to defend the title more.
Yeah, well, I'm just happy to have them on the card, to be honest with you. So I don't care about that. I just want them on the mic.
Yeah, good point. But I mean, I just feel bad for the rest of the tag division. I just don't think it exists. I mean, they don't have to. I don't feel that they should have to wrestle for their titles unless
you know what I feel bad for? I feel bad for the other networks, the other shows on these networks that have to follow us every Monday night. It can't be easy.
No. You know, I feel bad for the people who actually have to go to bed after listening to their show. I mean, I usually get finished with their show and go out run like 10, 15 miles, do some writing, some meditation, do a pretty heavy hour and a half or 2 hour workout. I mean, just so motivating, so inspiring. Just us and our show in general. And I think that, I think that we're doing good for the world.
I'm gonna do backward rolls out my front door as long as I can until I physically can't do it anymore.
That would be impressive.
I could probably do a lot. I'm pretty confident I can do a lot.
I think you could. Can the baby that gravity forgot to then?
I'm not sure. I know he can do it. He can do a backward roll, but it's not as good as mine. I was calling him our town name Brute tonight instead of the Bulgarian Brute. He's a brute himself. So I don't know. I just don't know. But hey man, Thanksgiving's around the corner. Are you ready?
Yeah. You know, I'm sitting out in front of Walmart, camped out. I'm buying a Keurig for $24.99 this coming Thursday at 2 p.m. when Walmart in Atlanta opens.
Are there people doing that? Tell me they're not. It's Monday.
You cannot argue with a Keurig for $24.99, my friend.
What's the earliest people start lining up? Not yet, but when will they start?
Probably Thursday morning. It's bad.
Anything to save $1, I guess.
Stuff's going to open up Thursday night. Like, they might even start lining up on Wednesday night. I don't know.
The shopping malls in my area start opening at 6 p.m. Thanksgiving Day.
It's just, it's a travesty. I mean, it's just,
I agree.
I almost want to just go there and rent a limo and just drive up, like, the night before, like, say a store's going to open at 8 a.m. Just show up there in front of the store in a limo, drinking, like, champagne, nice and warm. Everybody's all cold outside. And just be like, what are you guys doing? Like, it's so stupid. And then try to cut in front of them.
I think it would be a great scene all around. I mean, just to mess with all those people.
I'd be like the $1 Million Man, or I could hire homeless people to sit in line for me and then show up in the limo and then just be like, okay, thanks a lot, homeless guy. Here's $20, and then hop in the front of the line and buy out all of the $89 50-inch TVs that they have for sale. That would be a dick move as well.
Yeah, it would be, but you know what, man? These stores, they thrive on the people chasing through the doors. And what I'll tell you is I love every Black Friday because I get a new set of videos. I get a new class of videos and beatdowns because of whatever happened at their local whatever. And that we will get plenty of those, I'm sure.
You know what? That reminds me. It's something else that offends me. Black Friday.
I don't want to lose you here, Vic. I need to hear about this. What about Black Friday? Oh no, they took Vic out. Kev, they took Vic out.
Man.
Why don't you tell us about some of the shows on the network? What's going on VOC and AMP?
Well, let me look that up here for you real quick.
Will we have anyone new coming into the studio this week?
Well, I am absolutely sure that we will. On the Undisputed Wrestling show this week, we've actually got a triple threat. We've got, appearing in the first hour, veteran wrestler BJ Whitmer. In our second hour, we've got a young man I'm sure that you're very well familiar with over the years, a guy that goes by the name of JC Ice.
I like JC Ice.
And then
did I get did my mic get 7-second delayed, Kev?
You got whammied.
I wasn't sure if that was a planned 7-second delay there on my comments about what I was offended by. Or,
yeah, we did.
If that was just my cell phone Skype connection not working well.
I think it was just unfortunate connection not working well. And we tried to get you back a couple times too. So
yeah, I heard the phone ring, but I was still trying to log into my thing. Go back in. I basically have to log out of Skype when that happens. Unfortunately.
So you have to tell us what it was you were going to say.
You know what I'm offended by, and we just touched on this. Black Friday. I think that in this day and age, I think that we need to be more civilized, more understanding, and call it something else. Call it the Friday after Thanksgiving. Call it the biggest shopping day of the year. But hashtag.
Would you call it something ultimate or something warrior?
Yes. You know what? You could call it that too. I'm sure they're going to have a special series of Ultimate Warrior action figures as well available during this Black Friday event, or Sale Friday event. And you know what? You could actually call it Early Sale Thursday, or Look How Far Society Has Fallen Thursday.
I will not understand the mauling a fellow human being to save $50 on a TV. And I know I've talked about this when I think on the air here. There is a video to look up. Black Friday TV woman.
The problem isn't not so much. Okay, you know what,
Vic, you gotta let me finish this. This is too good. You gotta let me finish. I want to hear your thought on the problem. But I can't forget this because people deserve this opportunity. Google.
You know what? I'm gonna watch.
What?
Over here, but it's just it's like you said. It's just it gets better and better every year about how lowly how lowly people will get for a $18 toaster or a $99 flat screen TV or whatever massive deal that Walmart is sprouting out 5 of, and willing to line up 200 people for hours and then expect that, okay, the 6th person in line is just going to go quietly if they can't get TV. They think they should be in touch with that.
Black Friday TV.
It's absolutely chaos.
Black Friday TV woman. Woman gets giant big screen TV, which she literally pushes a grown man out of the way. She decides to fall on top of the TV, hug it, and wait until everyone around her leaves so she can take TV and go. Well, in the process, she really hit some guy hard to get the TV. A cop sees this. Yes, cop sees this. Cop knocks the woman down with the TV. The woman, who's about to get arrested, then puts her hands back down around the TV. The cops go to put her hands behind her back. She resists arrest, dives on the TV, and hugs it. Like, did you think, lady, at the point where you started resisting the arrest, that you were going to be able to somehow get back on the TV and walk out with that TV? Like, did you think that was going to play out that way?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like you said, I mean, it's a sad commentary on I don't know if this is the only place in the world that has it, probably, because I think we're the only country that celebrates Thanksgiving when we do. Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't know, it's a pretty sad commentary, and I have a feeling that like ISIS terrorists are probably watching this and thinking, hey, you know what? Like, why attack Survivor Series where we have like the APA and the Big Boss Man and all of these former military personnel, major guns, wrestlers like that? Why attack that? We could attack people who are sitting outside in front of a Walmart clamoring to buy material possessions.
That's right. That's probably the way they view it, man. We got to get right, people. We got to get right. Got to get right.
That might be, unfortunately, that might be the only way to stop Black Friday, and I hope that doesn't happen, because that would
no.
But,
we don't want that to happen.
At the same time, I think that's sort of.
We don't want that to happen.
No, I know. I understand that, but I'm saying, hey, it's, you know what? It's a bad and easy target for a bunch of assholes.
Hey, speaking of which, Friday morning I'm gonna be in line. I'm gonna be in line for $20 Blu-ray players. You guys need any?
I don't know about you, but I've strongly considered. Yeah, can you pick me up 4 of them, Kev?
Is there 2 Vex? I feel like
What's
there's
that?
2 Victors. I feel like there's 2 different voices of yours.
You there?
Hello.
No, Killer Kev said he's going to pick up some Blu-ray players on Friday morning.
You need one? You need one, Tensai?
I don't know, Kev. You want to hang up, try to call me back really quick?
I'll love one.
I'm here.
I think our stream's kicking out, but maybe we just wrap it up.
It's like kicking out like a half second too late, like Mark Henry did.
Oh man. Well, why don't we Vic, is there anything you want to add?
Hang on, he'll be right back.
I think we wrap this baby up like a turkey with a bow. And this dead air is beautiful. People love that. Very good. Very good to have happen on the air.
Sorry, my mouth was full of turkey at the moment.
You shouldn't be eating turkey yet. It's not time.
It's always time for turkey.
Good attitude. I like it.
Turkey is the all-American bird.
Turkey is a good meat.
Did you know that the turkey was almost the national bird instead of the bald eagle?
I've heard that.
Benjamin Franklin proposed it.
I wonder why it didn't happen the other way around.
I don't know why either.
Interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. Well, I don't know. I think we lost Vic here. I do.
He might have been taken out by ISIS finally.
Oh,
yeah, they might have heard my French and taken me out. That's yeah, I don't know. I think that ISIS was probably actually intimidated. I went down there with my APA shirt on and sat in front of the Atlanta Civic Center or wherever the heck they had the pay-per-view down in Atlanta last night. And I just sat there and looked missing. And I think they might have seen that and decided that, you know what, we're just gonna abort.
Abandon ship. Well, on that note, I think we've done everything we need to do this week. We talked a little bit about Raw.
You understand what I'm saying there?
I do. Well, we're going to wrap this one up, Vic. Anything you want to add before we get out of here?
You there?
So, Killer Kev, if you could,
Killer Kev.
Vic, we'll see you next week. Please.